What's up, guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Elden Ring Kita Edition! Alright, so something real quick I want to bring up, because I think I forgot to bring it up in the past. It was a great comment by Elizabeth Cassidy I missed, and I don't want to not give credit for that. So Elizabeth had pointed out... okay, I can't find the comment. I might have responded to it. So see those grid marks behind Radigan, as that is a Radigan over there? Though that grid pattern is the same as the one that we saw in the Erd Tree earlier. Also, it's the same pattern that we see in Radigan's eyeball. Same grid pattern. So... yeah, sorry, Elizabeth. I guess I meant to, but sometimes I read comments, or most of the times I read comments, obviously, while I'm not playing, and then I might miss or forget to come back to one, so thank you for that. Other thing is, I went ahead and changed up my stats a bit while I was off camera to be able to use Law of Regression. So I had that equipped right here, and Regression alone reveals secrets. So I thought, it's time. It's time to start talking about some more lore. I'm sick and tired of not being able to say things and being like, wait, I need to do this other thing first. So this is a statue of Radigan. It contains a secret of Radigan. What is it? Oh, snap. What? Radigan is Marika. Oh, dang. Alright, so again with Marika and the symbols, see how she's like has her arms stretched like that? It's almost like a crucible symbol again, like the bottom of a rune, or sorry, an arc, the bottom of like an arch. It's also like what the rune arcs look like, right? But that's what her arms make, is that symbol. Yeah, and honestly, the scrolls around her, I never noticed this before, but now that I'm really looking at it, they kind of look like Elden Ring-y to me, and the fact that there's like the big circle above her there. And like the larger one there, although there'd be two, to make that triangle type shape with the circles. But anyways, it kind of looks like that to me. But Radigan is Marika, so that has tons of implications here. So I'm gonna talk about that as oh wait, actually we gotta go talk to Corin now that we figured that out. But first I'm gonna go get my normal stats back, and then I'll talk to Corin. But that was one reason I was like leveling up intelligence, was just because you need 37 to use that, but I wasn't going to get there without restatting, so it just wasn't going to happen. 30, 10, 32, 60, 14, and then this was 22. What the? Okay, I am back. So I realized what happened before the issue was that I thought that, where is it? My scar seal, or... I have where's my equipment? I have Scourge Heirloom equipped, and as you can see to the right there, it raises my strength by 5. So when I was changing my levels with Renala, I thought that it would not show that extra stat boost that I was getting. I didn't know it was like, for some reason it showed it at one point, and it didn't show it when I was changing back. So that's what confused me, since I had it equipped both times. Alright, so I know the secret of Radigan being Marika now, which is, I do want to talk a lot about, but first let's talk to Corin and Gold Mask and all them.
Oh, was that you? Yes, the Master is still ceased. And after coming all this...
okay.
Who exactly was Radigan? The Master is stumped. His finger has remained... But, oh, the Erd Tree. Why must these... We were on the...
Okay, do I have to tell Gold Mask that then? Tell him that Radigan is Marika. Okay, I guess I tell Gold Mask. Nice response. Golden Order totality! Alright, so now Corin should have something new to say.
What on earth did you do to the Master? Well, not that I'm complaining. Master's finger moves again, resuming his cogitation. More than good enough for me. I haven't the words to thank you, so I'd like to pass this on to you instead. A glimpse into the heart of the Golden Order, documented by yours truly. To think that Radigan was Marika herself, or at least Such is all I can interpret from the rhythm and calculus of his finger. How would such a thing even have been possible, I wonder? Sadly, I cannot comprehend it myself. Do you have a fuller understanding of the matter? Oh. Well,
Have you not heard of larval tears?
I can continue my documentation.
And amber eggs?
In truth, it matters very little whether I understand the Master's thoughts or not. I am merely his scribe. It is my sole and unwavering purpose.
Okay, so
Furthest indeed.
they're gonna eventually head out. Sorry, I had to cough. Okay. Now we can talk in full, though, about all that stuff. So that's why I wanted to do that. And I did miss a Ash of War over here by the Caelid Cattic. Or sorry, actually it was right here by the Impassable Great Bridge. So I'm going to grab that and then keep on exploring Caelid. So there's a lot here that this would mean. So for one, when I was talking about the demigods, or basically everyone who... not the demigods per se, sorry. When I was talking about the chairs and everyone who had a chair, right, where that Margot was talking about, all of those chairs were people who were in some way related to America. Like, directly related. It wasn't just Radigan who was there. There's the Ash of War I missed. I guess it's because, like, that eagle flies, or the hawk thing flies down, and yeah. Alright, Somber Smithing Stone 4, not an Ash of War. Anyways, so that was the interesting thing, is that everyone who has a seat on the throne, Godric, is related to America. If it's, like, Godric was... Let's say that it is Godwyn. Sorry, let's say Godfrey is Godwyn's son, and Godric is Godwyn's son, let's just say. Well, America and Godfrey had children, and that was Godwyn. That would be America's son. Oh, also I wanted to look at this stake of America too. Okay. Just gonna see if there's anything like... Oh, there's thorns there. That was related to another comment that I wanted to find about stakes of America. Okay. From Tyrant Chimera, the seal in the Erd Tree Thorn Door also looks a lot like the cracks, in quotes, you see at the bottom of the Stakes of America. I actually don't know if I ever thought of them as having cracks. It does have some, I guess you could say thorns, but I guess I just thought of them as like tree branch sort of stuff, which would make sense with her. But, yeah, I guess I don't know if I ever thought of them as cracks at the bottom, or maybe I'll have to find a different Stake of America. Okay, so that's Godric, right? So let's see. Rykard is the son of Radigan and Renala. Radigan, who's actually America. So Rykard again, related to America. Same with Radon, who I just killed. Radon's actually a son of... Oh, hey, I missed the golden seed. Radon is actually a son of America. You know what I need to do? Apparently there's a dragon around here I missed, but I'm not sure where it is. So. I'm trying to decide if I should just quick warp and keep talking about it after I quick warp. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll see you guys in a moment. Sorry about that. I forgot that I wanted to go to Redbane Castle. Anyways, the other kids are Ronnie. Again, that's Radigan and Radigan, who's America. So America and Renala's kid. And then finally you have Mikola and Melania, who are, I believe, America and Radigan's kid, who is the same person. And we keep on hearing about how Mikola and Melania have issues, right? So, like, Melania is cursed with the Scarlet Rot. Mikola's, like, eternal childhood sort of thing. So, my personal theory is that the idea is, since Radigan and America are actually two in the same, it's almost like an incest sort of thing, right? Where their kids are being born with, or the kid is being born with disfigurements and diseases. So I think the whole reason that happened is because it was like an unnatural child. I mean, especially because it's the same person, basically. We got also some interesting dialogue before from Melina, who I'm pretty sure that is Marika's daughter. I don't know through who though, but I guess Marika Millennia. With the naming scheme, you would think that it would be that Melina, just through the naming scheme, would be another daughter specifically from Marika and Radigan, because that's where they start to have the M names. So that would be that then. Yeah. So, anyways, let's see who else. Oh, yeah. Anyways, I guess I was just saying that. That's why I think that they have disfigurements and issues. And the other issue is now. So then we also have Moog and Morgott, who we've heard about. And Morgott, who was able to be somehow was able to be a king. Granted, he couldn't be, and he has like this unnatural love in a way for the Golden Order. Excuse me, for the Erdtree, even though he wasn't loved back. So it makes it seem like, and I think this is also where a lot of the speculation comes from too, is that the fact that he was the king of Leyndell, perhaps Morgott, or not Morgott, sorry. Yes, Morgott. Perhaps Morgott was actually a child of Marika as well, and the same with Moog potentially. But they were omens, so they were cast out, and you know they didn't really get to. Basically, they just kind of got screwed because of the way that everyone looks at Omen and view Omen in this world. So, and that's the theories. That's the thoughts. So, yeah. Just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, it looks like I got everything here. I'm going to go actually into Redmane Castle. There is a port outside, but I'll just start working from the inside and working out. So, the other thing, though, is, okay, so let's keep talking about Radigan. So, we know that Radigan went and married Rennala at some point. And this was after wars to take over Liurnia. Take over everything there. There's going to be a boss up here that, you know what, I'll just go take care of the boss first. The Academy of Rea Lucaria and that whole region, basically, right? So Radigan was going on these war attempts to go take it over, and then he fell in love, or supposedly fell in love, with Rennala, and then they had kids together, and the rest was history, and it was a beautiful arrangement until he left for another man, or sorry, another woman for Marika, which is actually himself. But that's where it brings into question for me if this was just a political alliance, so he could keep on conquering and get that land. So I've also been wondering if he just cast aside Godfrey, because Godfrey just sort of outlived his usefulness in a way, or sorry, if Marika did, because Godfrey was, well, we'll find out more. I can't say too much about Godfrey, actually, but Godfrey basically kicked some ass for her. But they were losing all these wars, so maybe that's why Radigan then was like, did this political alliance thing with the marriage, and then was able to, at that point, get the land, you know, and just keep on spreading her teachings of Marika even further. So, yeah, and there's nothing wrong with those kids, right? Rykard, Ronnie, and Rykard, Ronnie, and Radahn, and they're all fine, other than Radahn being like a giant person. But I get, you know, that's fine. There's giants in this game. It's not like a disability like Nicola and Melania have. So the Ruins Greatsword, I think is actually I know you can get it to S tier strength. It's actually one of the best swords in the game. So let me just show that off. I think I put this back in normal order, so there it is. Originally rubble from a ruin which fell from the sky, this surviving fragment was honed into a weapon. The ruin it came from crumbled when struck by a meteorite. As such, this weapon harbors its destructive power. So many meteorites in this game. Okay, I was also getting a little frustration in the comments about me holding back on some of the lore and story stuff, so that's where I'm hoping that I can talk about that a little bit more. Hold on, where is it? More intelligence! Okay, so from Dark Mystic, it's getting ridiculous how much you're holding back on the story. It's clear right now why Radahn was holding back the stars. You have talked to Ronnie and fought Star Beast, come on. I was kind of just holding off a little bit until we see one more thing, but I'll talk about it a little bit more with Radahn. But, like, we keep on hearing about these meteorites and how important the meteorites are and all that, and that they bring things with them. And we've seen now, like, the gravitational beasts. We've seen these, like, falling star beasts, right, who probably came from outer space. So, with Radahn holding back the stars, it's very, very likely that Radahn was doing it specifically to prevent more things like that from coming to the land. And there's even more that we're gonna discuss and discover. And I'm sorry I'm holding back a little bit. Again, it's more because I feel like I haven't gotten the item descriptions that show that stuff yet. And but that said, at least like I went ahead and did that Radigan thing, so we could talk a lot more about this stuff, and we can start really discussing Radigan and America and what's going on with America. So, oh, you know what? Now we can talk a little bit more about Radigan's eye too, I think. Now that we've done that, so let's look at Radigan's the source seals again, scar seals. So America's, this seal represents the lifelong duty of those chosen by the gods, which would imply that America was chosen by the gods. And then Radigan's, which is America. These seals represent the lifelong duty of those chosen by the gods. But solemn duty weighs upon the one beholden, not unlike a gnawing curse from which there is no deliverance. So it's basically like America just feels this duty to keep ensuring that the gods are pleased. At least that's the way I look at it, or whatever god. So it's kind of not necessarily something she wants. Another thing I've been thinking about too is I think the shattering could have been happened because at one point America and the gods sort of like disagreed with each other in a way where there was something where they didn't like the demigods anymore, the greater will, and I think it could have to do with I think that could be maybe they didn't think that any of America's children should be, who are the demigods, should be an Elden Lord. So that's when the shattering happened. But I am not 100% on that, so don't like... This is still just kind of the thing I'm like working out as I'm like working on this timeline stuff and kind of like wondering about. So it was something I was thinking about with America and like why the shattering happened in the first place. And I was thinking, like, you know what might piss her off so much that she did that, right? That none of her kids were quote-unquote worthy. So, you know, that would anger any mother, right? So, that, you know, she did all this for them. And then they're like, nah, actually, we're not going to have your kids. I know I was playing like bad, but I'm kind of relying on the fact that I think I'm a little overpowered, so I figured I'd survive that. Oh boy. You know what? Screw it. No! Oh. That could have actually been kind of bad. Yeah, so as has been brought up in the comments before, you can come to this castle and do this mini little dungeon here before. Red Hot Wet Blade is here. Let's take a look. But yeah, you can do this way before I did it. Before you go to Altus Plateau. When applying affinity using physical or flame type Ashes of War, an additional affinity of fire or flame art can be chosen. Very nice. I like it. Lord Sworn Straight Sword. Alright, I guess I'm cool with that. Fine by me. Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else to say regarding what we just discovered. So, I I mean, obviously with the Shattering, that was everyone fighting and vying for power to be the next Elden Lord. To take power, but I mean, that'd be interesting if none of them were worthy. And I mean, the point is, like, with Radigan's, like, closing off that, essentially, because we see his grid, and you can't go into the Erd Tree, it doesn't really matter. No one would have been able to get him and become Elden Lord, no matter who won. But I'm trying to remember if we got the quote. There's a quote from America I think we got way earlier in the game about her basically telling her kids, like, fight to be the Elden Lord, and if you don't, well, you're gonna be nothing. So, like, at least to be, when I was, like, rereading that, I was like, it kind of sounds like she's telling her kids, like, either become the Elden Lord or you suck. Be Lord or demigod or you're nothing. From their own mother. So, that's at least what it was kind of looking like to me when I was looking over that. I don't really remember if there's anything else interesting here. Oh, another thing I was thinking about too when I was talking about Godric stuff, right? And like hints like, was he potentially... And I've also got a Godric comment from you guys to read it. But going back to Godric for a moment. Another thing with him that I was thinking about is that you actually find the Stormhawk ashes, which relates to Stormvale Castle, as is Stormvale, Stormhawk, in the starting area where you're at. And then you also find the Grafted Scion there, and Grafted would be something that relates to Godric. Scion, actually, I think this is something from Elizabeth, hopefully this specific one. No. So Elizabeth pointed out the definition of Scion, which is like basically like a plant that could be used for grafting, is one potential definition. Another one is that you're basically like have some sort of special lineage. So a lot of times I think that the Scions, when they talk about it in this game, where it's like a specific type of lineage, rather than necessarily the grafted definition. But that does make it interesting when you combine Godric and his grafting habit. Because also, there's like a quote in the game that refers to all the Black Knife Assassins as Scions. And again, what is it? Of the Eternal City. So again, that's a quote where to me it's more like, oh, okay, they were probably more like some special type of like lineage rather than necessarily having to do with grafting. I would think, at least for them in that regard. Let me find the other Godric quote in a moment. I know there's another door that I missed that's actually right by where I start, but you might have to open it from the outside, I'm not sure. Okay, from Parasite House. Hey Dave, I picked up a gilded great shield from the Godric Knight at the gate camp today. I'd never gotten that drop before, so I read the lore. And metal great shield coated with gold, carried by knights loyal to Godric. The red tinge in the gold coat mirrors the primordial matter that became the Erd Tree, the color of homeward yearning. And give me a moment, and I will keep looking at that. We got a pumpkin head to take care of first. Well, you give me your helmet. I still don't think I've gotten their helmet as a drop in this game, in this specific one. A flamberge. I'll take a look, but I actually don't think there's anything interesting that it says, if I remember correctly. Scarlet Rot is kept at bay with flames at Redmane Castle, and as such, this beloved sword of Jaren's eventually became the symbol of the castle itself. Alright, well, I guess the fact that it was, the Scarlet Rot was actually kept at bay here, that's interesting. I didn't realize they actually managed to keep it at bay at Redmane Castle. So, how about that? Alright, I actually did learn something, and I'd already read that item description. It's like multiple times, and somehow I didn't notice that. So, again, going back to the comment from Parasite House, the red tinge in the gold coat mirrors... Oh, Godric kind of fell into dramatic focus for me. Godric's dying words were full of homeward yearning. The equipment of his knights simultaneously evoked the primordial crucible and that same homeward yearning. Godric, I can't read and run at the same time. Smithing Stone 5. Oh, look, another item I missed over there. Godric, a man of diluted blood who has certainly internalized the vast disparity between himself and other members of his family, seeks power and personal completion by blending himself with other beings in a perverse attempt to return to that Halcyon time. I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. when all life was blended together, when there was no disparity, no separation, only totality. What I'm saying is that Godric is trying to climb back into the womb of life itself. He's into that. Wow, that's a really good interpretation. So, I haven't had time to fully digest and think about it, but I like it. I like where you're at with that. So, yeah, actually, you know what I need to do is go through Godric's words. And one of you guys pointed out to me asking if I've rewatched the story trailer yet, both of the story trailers. I actually haven't rewatched them yet, and I need to, because I know, like, once you understand a lot of this stuff, it's really like, oh, that's way more interesting when you really, like, get a lot more of what's going on. So, yeah, I definitely need to do that. Let's see. I did reread some of the intro stuff, and some of it was more... And also was looking at the pictures again. Oh, here's something interesting, too, in the pictures. And I didn't notice the first time I watched it, because I kind of, like, noticed the focus more on the important and interesting Tarnished, and that was really what I noticed. But the intro also actually shows Mohg and Morgott. And Mohg we haven't met yet, but it shows Morgott. And I think, if I remember correctly... You know, I keep on needing to pause to look at stuff, but this is important. I'm going to look at this. Give me a moment. Soon Marika's offspring, demigods all, claim the shards of the Elden Ring. So when it says that, soon Marika's offspring, demigods and all, claim the shards of the Elden Ring, it's showing Morgott there, right? And the character that it looks like he's fighting there kind of looks like Radagon. Granted, I mean, Radagon didn't... You know, Radagon died by the hands of... or didn't die at all. But the red hair, that would be like... Sorry, I didn't mean Radagon. It looks like Radahn. But just that red hair that he's fighting. But yeah, that's like interesting. I really need to like re-look into that. But the fact that it shows Morgott specifically when it talks about it, that's, I think, another hint that Morgott could potentially actually be a child of Marika. Because it's saying Demigods all, showing Morgott doing some stuff. So, coincidence? Maybe. Maybe. But usually it's not with these games, you know? So they're usually very purposeful in how they do that sort of stuff. So I think that's another point to Morgott and Mohg being children of Marika. Also, their names start with the letter M, so I mean, come on. Come on, it's the M connection. The GRRM, George R.R. Martin names that he claims was not done on purpose. But maybe he didn't and they did. I don't know. It's just like, it seems too... It just seems too coincidental to not be done on purpose, but hey, you know, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it was not on purpose. Wow. You loyal Erdtree followers aren't having a good day today. Armorer's Cookbook 5. I mean, I guess they weren't doing anything. I didn't need to kill them, but I did, because I'm awful. Smithing Stone 5. Okay, this is the back entrance that I could have gone to, but I think the only way to... Actually, I don't know if you can open it from the other side. I know you can open it from this side. It would make sense if you could open it from the other side, though, because this would be the way to sneak in, I think, to the dungeon. Alright, let's do... Let me get this. Ash of War, Flaming Strike. Yeah, I knew that there'd be some enemies here. Bats! I want to look at that Ash of War, but I can't yet. Flaming Strike. Flaming Strike. Because these damn bats! Oh, of course. Mama trying to poison me. Alright. You know what? That's cool. I'll grab this then, so I can at least heal it back up. Alright, Ash of War, Flaming Strike. Where are you at? Alright, Flaming Strike. Skill that emits flame in a wide frontward arc. That's about it, really. Doesn't have much more to it. Alright, Smoldering Butterfly. And I think this is actually the entrance I was thinking of that I thought I was missing, so... I think there's only one more area I haven't gone to yet within Redmane. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else specific. Yeah, it looks like you have to drop the other way to get down here. I'm trying to... Yeah, is there anything else specific that I missed discussing? Oh, wait a second. I forgot about that ladder with Radagon. Yeah, it's... So here's like another thing with Radigan. It was the question of, is it two separate entities or is it the same person? I tend to go on the side of that if there's one thing that proves something wrong, it's not the case. And there is, I think, one line from Melina talking about what Merrick is saying, where it's like, oh, you're two people. But I think it's more of like, I think it's more of America talking to herself, honestly, as like her alternate personality in a way. And I think, I think America and Radigan, I mean, everything else is like, America's Radigan. That's like the big lore secret, right? So I don't think it can get much more clear than that. This is me going off of, like, for example, I finally watched Vadi's lore video, and he's like, who knows? It could be either way. And I'm kind of thinking, like, can it, though? The big lore reveal is that they're the same person. I don't think they became the same person. I'm pretty sure they just are the same person. It was Radigan's big secret that's revealed to you. So I don't think... Ooh, nice greatsword. I don't think there's two ways to look at that one, personally. Featuring a long grip enabling a dual-handed use, the weapon was designed to dispatch larger foes. Being charged with such a duty was undoubtedly a great honor. Greatsword bestowed upon skilled swordsmen in the demigod's service, and yet had no rank or title. I mean, wouldn't the rank or title have been knight? Just saying. I mean, it sounds like that's their title. Also, I'm realizing now this ladder would have been the way to get in, right here. This is how you're probably actually supposed to break into the castle. Since I guess the door probably would have been locked from the other side, so. Alright. It's becoming nighttime. Oh, scary. There's going to be some monsters about outside. So. Let's see. What else can yeah, I'm just trying to think of other Radigan related to America things that have not been discussed from me. And yeah, obviously, as always, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this stuff, but I think it's pretty straightforward in that regard, at least. And what is this? Armorer's Cookbook 4. Nice. You know, it seems like there's like a way to open up the gate, but I don't know if I know where it is. Because the other side had it where you could, like, you would automatically go off of your horse once you entered this part of the dungeon. So why would they do that unless you could open up this gate? But I don't know where it is. Ooh, what's this? Arterial leaf. Okay. I went up in that one. I don't see anything. Oh, wait, I never got to that troll. Okay, let me do, like, a fast-forward thing. I'm going to look for that. I'm realizing now that the troll jumps down from there. That's the troll that I fought to defend the castle. And yeah, I don't know if there's a way up, though. I mean, I guess not. I guess not. Unless there's... Wait a second. Nah, this isn't going to be the way. This isn't going to be the way. Hey, oh, let's go. All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. All right, I'm going to warp away. Let's head to the Church of the Plague and find another dungeon. So, yeah, more dungeons to go to. And then I feel like I could say Kaled is wrapped and done. And actually, we'll have some like really interesting stuff to do there. Are you guys mad at me because I took Millicent away? Is that what it is? Because, I mean, she wasn't into you. You just had to get over it. You just have to learn to deal with it. Okay. Oh, wait. Look. The thing that was pointing out that there's a dungeon is now not doing it anymore. So I guess it finally registered that I went to this dungeon, which is probably the one that it was pointing to. So that's interesting. Oh, yeah. I also have to finish Alexander's questline, too. Okay. Where is my steed? There you are. There you are, Torrent. Oh, another thing, too, that I was thinking about. let's take a, and I want to take a look at, for who is Torn's former master. I think it's pretty likely to be, wait, did I never go over here? I think it's pretty likely to be Melina. So the other thing that you get is ashes from Melina's former, Torn's former master, who again I'm saying I think is Melina, which would be the wolves. Lone wolf ashes. Spirits of wolves chased from their pack. They later encountered a nameless Tarnish who welcomed them as hunting companions. The wolf spirits overwhelm enemies with their agility, aiding the summoner in combat. The nameless Tarnish part's interesting, but again, I don't know. I feel like it's probably was Melina's. Okay. Another thing is that these giant skulls are pretty awesome, but I'm pretty, like, there's not much that we really know about them yet, other than it's probably a real skull of some, like, giants. I mean, damn, like, really huge ones. But that's about it that we can really say. I think a lot of it's just speculation beyond that anyways, even when we do find out more. It's like, well, it's probably a giant. Okay. It's going to be around here somewhere. There it is. All right, so here is the secret of Celia, town of sorcery that was driving me crazy before. It's the Celia hideaway. And this is also what we got the key for that we were hinted to, was to go this way. So, yeah, let's take on the Celia hideaway. I didn't do it earlier just because there's like a boss here that I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with it. And it's not like it matters quite yet anyways. Oh, was this what you were talking about before for the thing that looks at the bottom? The cracks? Maybe you meant this instead of the Stake America. So, the seal in the Erdtree Thorn Door also looks a lot like the cracks you see at the bottom of the Stakes of America. So this isn't the Stake America, it's for the summoning pools, but I'm wondering if that's what you think. I don't think so. It looks actually, I think it might look more like the gravity mark to me. But I have to look at all the runes again. But yeah, that might be it. Which I guess would make sense because it's like things converging. So that could be it. Alright, glintstone scrap. Very nice. Actually, I think this dungeon is kind of fun. This one. I think I remember liking this one. There's a whole lot of... Not a whole lot, but there's a decent amount of illusory walls in this one. I actually thought the illusory wall would be up here, but I guess not. I don't fully remember. That's what happens when I take 2.5 weeks off. Also, more comments. On Grail, Yuki Desato says, I think FromSoft wanted to do more with Grail, but probably had some quests in mind as well, but due to time and size of the dragon, it was scrapped. I think one of the data miners made Grail move in action as a perspective. It can literally take a step and move from Caelid to Limgrave. Wow, that is crazy. The size probably made it impossible as a proper boss fight, but maybe in future updates we get to see the dragon as part of something more. Currently, killing her is the only way to get the legendary incantation. Also, since the first Altus episode, I've kept calling Godfroy or Godfroy, Godric, Godwin, or Godfrey. Yeah, there's just so many of them. Ashams are actually very interesting and interactive, as Red Mage Knight Oga uses a special attack only when you have access to the Warcry special attack, or with how Latina can ride the big wolves when they're near. Same with a certain quest related to a certain summon. I think experimenting special abilities of summons to dig deeper into details is my next thing on the list to look at, and lore-wise. Yeah, that's really cool. And then Haitani had also something with Grail that I'll get to in a moment, but I don't want to just stand here. I gotta keep on moving. Gotta keep on moving through these illusory walls into the main dungeon. They really kept this guy hidden, and this dungeon hidden. So wait, what was this called? I'm already getting far away from it. The Celia Hideaway. But they also have miners here, so it's like basically Celia had 2 crystal miners, and we know that Celia is super into invisibility and all that, so that does make sense that they would have a secret place like this with invisibility, keeping everyone from knowing about it. That's definitely as Celia as it gets. But yeah, it's just like they had this giant secret crystal mine that they didn't want people to know about. And clearly it ends up getting used as a prison, which I'll get to, all that stuff. There's a lot with this dungeon, so actually for me to go fight the boss right away isn't a bad thing, because I have to come through back here anyways to look for other things. So if I get to the boss, I'll just go ahead and take him on. I think I actually just missed something anyways that I wanted to... section I wanted to go to first. You stop. You. Get out of here. Alright. Glowstone. Nice. And let's see. What else? I mean, I've kind of talked about this in the past, but those miners there, everyone mines and they just get special sorceries to do it easier, which makes sense. And clearly it's like using glintstone for that. You know what? I'm gonna go down here. This is what I wanted to try first. So first, this spot. Yeah! Nice R2. Good job, Kita. I need to keep using my my special limit break attack. That's what I'm gonna call it. It's like a Cloud Strife limit break. Alright. Oh no! No, it's a Scion! No! But this one's not grafted, right? Oh, wait, are these called Scions? Actually, I don't know if they are. I forgot their names. Hate them though. Hate them. Lost Ashes of War. Yeah, there's been so much like lore stuff I've been poring over and reading that at this point it's getting to the point where it's all kind of not blending together, but it's like I don't know what to talk about unless it's in front of me, and I'm like, oh, here's a thing to mention and talk about. So like rereading all the dialogue has been helping a lot. When I was just rewriting and rereading all the item and armor descriptions, it was like it's very fragmented. And I know, just like Sekiro, a lot of this game's story is really told through the dialogue, whereas with Souls, a lot of the dialogue is told through item descriptions. So, or sorry, a lot of the dialogue. I mean, a lot of the story is told through item descriptions. Okay, I'm gonna be wanting to go down there, but I'm gonna do it actually after I face the boss, because that is going to be our second destination, is under there. Wait, actually, you know what? Screw it. I'll just do it first. Who cares? I don't have to beat the boss. It doesn't matter to do this part. So actually, I'm gonna do this first because I'm doing it. I'm here. I'm right here. Let's do it first, because the boss will probably have a quick warp to get out of the dungeon. So kind of just makes sense. This is just a quick hop out. I think it's like that bottom part I was just at. So I'm not gonna drop down there. This would be the other side of it, which kind of feels a little more secret because it looks a little sketchy dropping down here. But hey, look at what we find. If it's not a seal being guarded by a sorcerer. So that's interesting. And it's actually an alive one who's still guarding this. Okay, so looking at the seal, actually, on the left we have a couple birds. The seal, or sorry, they're probably cuckoos, I would guess, if this is Academy of Rhea Lucaria related. In the middle throne one, I can't remember. The grid pattern, though, again, very Radigan, right? So it's probably, I mean, Radigan and Renala together were Academy of Rhea Lucaria for the longest time, so that's probably where that grid pattern comes from here for the Academy of Rhea Lucaria. All right, so we can use the Sellian Sealbreaker on it, and who do we find but Lusat? Stars of Ruin. Let's take a look at those. Stars of Ruin. Legendary sorcery devised by Lusat, Primeval Sorcerer. Fires 12 dark shooting stars that pursue the targets. When Lusat glimpsed into the primeval current, he beheld the final moments of a great star cluster, and upon seeing it, he too was broken. Yeah, so very Seath-like in that, like, too much knowledge is just making these guys go crazy, and that was an accident. I shouldn't have done that. You can actually kill him later on to get his set, but I'm not going to do it until after I finish the storyline for Selin. just in case. I doubt it would mess it up, but I don't actually know. Since part of her storyline is she wants to, like, bring their... She'll end up wanting their bodies. But what for, I can't say. I can't spoil this stuff. Can't be spoiling everything. Even though I've been told to discuss more story. I'm, sorry I'm going at this pace. It's just... It's a discovery together, right? And, hey, even with the falling star beasts and stuff like that, how many people really realized exactly what was going on in outer space? Other than that, there's important cosmic stuff in this game. Alright, yeah, I'm pretty sure, since that's the Stake America, that you, sir, were actually referring to the summoning pool. Hey, another really cool little area. Lots of things to run on here. I think, and you can drop on that you gotta look for. Like this one. You wanna make sure you go to the right, just so you can drop on this. And get this secret. Oh, who found this? Everybody? Okay. Crystal Spear. Let's take a look. Spear fashioned from pure crystal, a deed impossible for a human, and wreathed with powerful magic, its attack scales with intelligence. The inscrutable Crystallians have but one clear purpose, to safeguard their crystals unto the end. One theory posits that they yearn for the return of their creator, who will carve for them new brethren. As far as outer space stuff goes, again, I think we already found one, but that the Crystallians basically came from outer space and landed here. I'm pretty positive that's the case. So again, just reading into why it was Radon trying to hold back meteors and all that. Well, you know, could just be that there might be enemies on those meteors that you're trying to hold back. So, you know, kind of shed some light on why he was doing that. It wasn't just for the sake of saying, I'm a badass, you know? Not just that. There's more to it than that, for sure. Although he is a badass. Alright, let's see. I did see the item down there, but I'm going to come to it later. First thing I want to do is try to finish exploring all the little things here. Wait a second. Did I go on this one? I don't think I did. This is probably another... Wait. Did I? Didn't I? I don't know anymore. I did. This was the one I went on. Or was it? Ah! There's too much. There's too much. It's a grid. Confusing grid. Okay, I'm just going to go down to the left. And if I see something that looks like I need to explore it... Alright, I just did this. I think that's everything up here, I think. Could be wrong, but I think that's the case. Yeah, for some reason, in my own game, I did lose that second because I was like, oh, what if this changes things? I should fight the boss first. And that's why in my head I was like, I gotta go to the boss first earlier. Gotta do it. And this is gonna be a long run back if I die to the boss. Look at those guys trying to hang out and trick me. I see you. I see all of you all. No. No crystals, please. I don't want them. Do not want them. Okay, let's see. Another thing, too, is that when Radigan and Renala join forces, we've been told that there's not too much difference, really, between Glintstone and, like, the study of, like, outer space stuff with the Golden Order stuff. So that's a pretty good thing to think about. Why would they not be that different? All right, yay, triple Crystallian boss fight. Now you have why I didn't want to go here right away, like first. I was like, you know what? I'll do it when I feel more comfortable taking on 3 Crystallians at once. How about that? The other one, they are being surprisingly nice to me, and I don't understand why. They're just kind of like watching this fight. Okay, thanks guys. I appreciate that. That didn't make any sense, but I appreciate it. I feel like they were glitching. I really feel like that they were supposed to be doing more. Okay, this guy's gonna break after the next one, so let's break him. Shatter his soul. Shatter his spirits. But yeah, very specifically, I just did not want to deal with 3 of these guys at once, so I was like, hey, you know what, I'll come back later. It's alright. There was no rush to do this stuff. Especially since I knew I was going to be coming back to Caleb. Alright, shatter you. And I think I might have one more Lion Roar Flippy doing me. And actually, I think you can do it again, it just doesn't hurt them for as much. I'm pretty sure when you do it after this. Crystal Torrent. Hey, Torrent's the name of my horse. Alright. The Wrath of the Crystallians encapsulated in sorcery. Each shard is of substantial size, making even a stray blow capable of inflicting a severe wound. Sorcerer of the Mysterious Crystallians. Why do they have so much wrath? Let's see. They're inorganic beings, yet they live. They cleave close to ideals of the primeval current, and as such, they are revered guests of the sorcerers. Huh. Well, okay. Okay. But, yeah, now we can start doing some of Sellen's questline stuff. Okay. So, here is Elizabeth's comment about grafting that I meant to find earlier. I'm trying to beef up this comment I found. The upper part of the combined plant is called the scion, while the lower part is called the rootstock. That means a grafted scion has more than one meaning. The offspring result of the grafting progress, or the part, let's say an arm, that is placed onto another body, let's say Godric himself. The scion contains the desired genes to be duplicated in future production by the stock scion plant. Does this mean that the grafted scion are things that Godric takes form from to strengthen himself? And she also says the golden lineage likely started grafting as their divine power diluted. Again, grafting is a thing frequently done in botany and often seen on fruit trees. So, yeah, that could answer, actually. That's a good point for why Godfroy would be that way. Or is it... Oh, my God. Is Godfroy or go to win? Does it matter? Probably. Hey, Sellen, I did your thing. Let's ignore what I was talking about. It's Godfroy. Okay.
My apprentice, give me a moment later. I have a favor to ask.
Okay. What's up?
The form you see before you is merely a projection. My body lies elsewhere. But the Academy's shackles prevent it being moved. My body is on the Weeping Peninsula at the southern tip of the lands between. Imprisoned in the ruins just down from the Church of Marika, past the plain of the Wandering Mausoleum. Can you make the journey to my body? I have something that I can only trust with you.
Yeah, sure, okay, whatever. Oh, here's Lusat's location.
Who could have guessed? What a place to find Master Lusat. You have my gratitude. This is all your work. I am truly pleased to have you as an apprentice, and a kindred spirit. This is a mere token of my thanks. Please, take it.
Thanks. I don't care.
This brings us a full step closer. The bodies of Masters, Azure, and Lusat can be admitted to the Academy. If only I could undo these wretched shackles. My body is on the imprison. Can you make the journey? I have something.
Okay, so that's where she starts repeating. So we have found her true body before. And actually, if you attack her, I think she just disappears, which helps show that that's just a progression, or that's just a projection. So let's go to the Witchbane Ruins. And it makes sense with the name Witchbane Ruins, since she's known as a witch. So, yeah, that name does make sense there. Alright. This way is the right way. Right. Let's grab Torrent. Torrent, what do you think? Oh, there's another ghost here. I'm trying to, like, write all the ghost dialogue. Oh, there it is, the tower. Finally can return to our home bathed in rays of gold. Oh, yeah, so that's right. He's talking about Lane Dell and the tower that warps you to Lane Dell. Yeah, You know, if it's tarnished, actually, that goes back to the fact that the... Oh, hey, one of these things is guarding it. That's probably her, actually, who summoned that to guard her, I would bet. Now that I'm thinking about it. I bet that, yeah, Selen summoned that thing to guard her. So, anyways, if that's a tarnished saying finally I can return home, it probably has to do with the fact that Godfrey left and took all the tarnished with him.
My apprentice, thank you for coming. These shackles take a toll on us all. There is something I need you to look after. My primal glintstone. A star has fallen, and my fortunes waver. Someone may come for my life, and so I entrust it with you, myself.
Okay, thanks. Give it to me. Hey, you wanted this. Selen's primal glintstone. It's amazing that she was able to get detained like that when she's like supposed to be such a badass.
Thank you, my apprentice. This is my essence. Please, treat it with care. Treat what you hold. Treat what you hold.
Okay, so let's take a look at it. Selen's essence, and actually that will give us a clue on what to do. Glintstone from within the sorceress Selen's body, seemingly half alive. Blood vessels are visible within. In essence, a primal glintstone is a sorcerer's soul. If transplanted into a compatible new body after the original body dies, the sorcerer will rise again. My apprentice, do you think it's distasteful? Yeah, it's kind of horrible to do, it sounds like. All right, I'm gonna see if a character appears here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick cut. All right, so I warped away, I rested, and who should we find but Jaren, our bro from Redmane Castle here. Yo, get the hell away. I got stuff to do, man. That's not cool. All right.
Ah, well met. I hardly expected to see the champion of the festival here, of all places. You didn't know Selen, did you? Well, whatever the case, she's dead now. Just put it behind you. She was known as the Graven Witch. Obsessed by the primeval current, countless sorcerers fell to her hand. The most dangerous mage in the entire history of Rhea Lucaria's academy.
You asshole.
It is strange, though. The woman, she was like a husk. Her soul already fled. I suspect Selen lives on elsewhere. I'm sure she'll turn up eventually, in another body. A sickening thought, but one that won't stop gnawing at me. I suspect Selen, I'm sure,
that definitely has nothing to do with me. Look at this burnt body down there. Whole bunch of encaged people, imprisoned people here. I wonder if that was Witch Hunter Jaren's doing, or still called Castellan Jaren there, or something else. All right, I'm gonna see if Selen. Oh, look, Waypoint Rune Cellar. If we go there, Selen's now going to be gone, probably because her soul is currently in my hands. She ain't there, because she can't do anything while, you know, she can't be casting projections while her soul's in my hand. Oh, and now actually I can start taking care of the Volcano Manor request, but I'll start working on that next episode. Okay, anyways, so let's go to the Three Fingers and Ronnie's Rise. I'll start here. Wait, did it just show that there's... Oh, an NPC. I was like, what NPC is in? It's just Ronnie, right? I still have to decide when I want to do the potion, because Supposedly you can get Dung Eater to drink it later on, but I don't know if that requires me to basically, like, screw over a whole bunch of other quest lines if I do Dung Eater first. Oh, hey, there's, like, a bunch of wolves outside of her place. That actually is kind of interesting when you consider that she has Blythe following her. So, yeah. Anyways. Remember how we found that secret area I showed before that basically, like, there's something that just looked just like Selin? It actually isn't Selin, but it is important. And it's Celivis's puppets, which later on you can actually confront him about, and that's really what I want to do. So, Celivis's puppets, do not touch. I'm going to touch one of them, I'm sorry. Transplant the glintstone. So if you actually look underneath the mask, while it looks just like Selin, it's actually a different
My
face model
apprentice.
when you look under the mask.
Just how long has it been? Thank you. You've helped me fill a new body once again, and it's truly a gem. Young and full of vigor, a snug fit for my primal glintstone. Better still, I've shed those awful shackles. Finally, I can return to the Academy to expel the Karian royal family and restore the primeval current. My dear apprentice. I owe this all to you. Finally,
Yeah.
I can return to the Academy to expel the Karian.
Okay, she wants to restore the primeval order. Cool. All right, so I think at this point now she should have left and gone to Rhea Lucaria, because that's what she wants. She even straight up says it. And the fact that we've talked to Witch Hunter Jaren now, we should have set everything in motion now for this to go down. So, oh yeah, look. So, Renala has that statue of Radigan still there. Did you know, Renala, that they were the same? I actually wonder that if she actually had any idea or not. Yeah. So here we go. Okay, so we have a choice. Question is, do we want to summon and assist Sorceress Selin? Or we can summon in and challenge Selin and help out Jaren. I think it's much more interesting to help Selin, so we're going to do that. Unfortunately, even though I think Jaren's kind of comes across as a good dude.
Jaren, bringer of my death. You have my gratitude for freeing me from my shackles. And I am afraid your work is done. Join the team to reflect on your mistake.
You know, actually, the fact that he's, like, uses a whole bunch of sorceries, I mean, that actually does make sense in the sense of, like, why would he have something against Selin unless he has some sort of connection to Rhea Lucaria in some kind of way. And also, the things they cast, it makes little runes and crests whenever they cast stuff, and that's kind of interesting to look at, too. And that's something that I want to start looking more into, are what little crests are cast when you cast magic. Because they have different affinities. All right, we get the eccentric set. So, Jaren's set. So let's take a look at it. Eccentric set, which should be kind of easier to find because it's a man with a beard. Okay, pointed ragged hood worn by the Knight of Jaren. The hood hides an aged, bearded mask. Jaren served General Radahn as a guest commander, and they are said to have sworn an oath of honorable death to one another. So he was a guest commander, which I guess would show that he came from somewhere else, which could have been Rhea Lucaria, because, again, you know, I mean, they kind of would be aligned in a way, at least for a time, before the Shattering and everyone fought each other. Or maybe they were the whole time. It could have been different sibling groups fighting, where Rykard became blasphemous against the Golden Order, but again, he's maybe fighting against Mikola and Melania and all of them, because it's like a different sibling group. And then Ronnie kind of just pieced out for reasons that we'll get to. And then Radahn obviously is siblings with Ronnie and Rykard, so we don't really hear any of them having specific beef. Although the Academy of Rhea Lucaria just says, I don't want to deal with this shit, and like doesn't have anything to do with the Shattering. So they're just like, that's when they close their doors. It's just so they don't have to deal with the Shattering and be at war. Unusually colorful armor for the Eccentric's armor, worn by the Knight Jaren. Jaren preferred a nomadic existence, but after spending time as a guest of the Karian royals, he became a guest commander for General Radahn. And for the first time, the restless tumbleweed would be bound by honorable oath, which would obviously have been the honorable death Yeah, so that's everything that we get with Jaren. That they will help each other die by honorable death. Wait, where's Renala? What the?
Ah, my apprentice. You've saved my skin once again. Do you see this? The Queen of Caria is no more. With the bodies of Masters Azure and Lusat returned, the Academy can hone the primeval current, so that we, fallen children of the stars, shall beam with brilliance once again. My apprentice, will you stay with us, here at the Academy? Oh, I know it's not possible. You have your own calling, to be the next Elden Lord. But do think of me, of your teacher. On the eve of your crowning, you will always be my darling pupil. Rest assured that no, the entire Academy will swear allegiance to the new monarch, my apprentice. Become Elden Lord.
Oh, hell yeah. Now I have the Academy of Rhea Lucaria joining me, since I helped Selene kind of just take over.
Perhaps I'm jumping ahead, but here is a symbol of my allegiance and the Academy's.
Glintstone Chris.
Do you recall what once I told you? That glintstone is the amber of the cosmos, and sorcery is the study of the stars and the life therein. When you become Elden Lord, please illuminate me. Lay bare the secrets of life which course the Elden Ring. Next time, I will be your student. Oh, one last thing. If you fail to claim your throne, you can always pay me a visit. Oh, don't fret. Even my dullest pupils will always have a place here.
Dullest pupils. Come on! Come on! I just helped you out so much. You can't call me dull even if I don't become Elden Lord. Alright, long sword. So, Glintstone Chris. Ritual blade once presented to Lane by the Academy of Rhea Lucaria to celebrate their newfound peace. Though the weapon is embedded with precious glintstones and features Erdtree ornamentation, the undulating blade is symbolic of an ancient ritual. You know what it kind of looks like, actually? Wait, never mind. I was going to say, I thought it looked like maybe the Black Knife Assassin daggers, but actually, no, I don't think it does. Glintstone Dart. Let's see, item type. Yeah, that one, I totally take it back. This one's just a curved blade. Undulating blade, huh. Should probably start looking at other undulating blades. Obviously, Flameberg had one, but just see if like anything else looks like that. That might have been, like, help show what that ancient ritual was that it's talking about.
What is it,
So, yeah, I don't think you get that if you take Jaren's side. But the other thing that actually to me is more interesting is what's about to happen here. So, alright. Selene is gone. We get the Witch's Glintstone Crown, though, so let's take a look at that. Witch's Glintstone Crown. One of the Glintstone Crowns bestowed upon Rhea Lucaria scholars whose pursuits were deemed worthy. This gentle-looking crown was granted to a scholar who excelled in her studies, which also merited the title of Witch, but not the graven part. And now this is here, right? So what is going on there?
My friend,
Oh, man. So, she looked a little too hard into the Glintstone sorceries, or sorry, the Primeval Current. And if you recall, you know what, let me find the item. No, I can't find the item for now, and I actually gotta get going pretty much right now, because I took longer for this episode. This probably definitely went over. I just wasn't sure how long I was taking. Anyways, if you recall, essentially this is what happens when they're trying to look for the Primeval Current, is they start, like, building, like, the sorcerers on top of each other, essentially, and all the masks, and, like, I think this is essentially you imploding from when you tried too much, and this is, like, a really bad thing to happen, if I recall. So I'll try to find that for next time to talk about, but yeah, so Selene looked too far into the Primeval Current, and she's done herself in. So anyways, that wraps me up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope that this was a fun lore-filled episode. I think we're done with Caelid at this point for now. Obviously, there's this stuff to do, which maybe I'll do next episode. I might start with this section, and then probably do Volcano Manor. So, yeah, we'll have some Mount Gelmir time coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Later, guys.
Hey!
Peace.